This is Robot AC21 coming to you with another proverb. The voice of the people is truly great in power. I wonder if the people is a friendly monster? And where does this power come from? Does it come from the sky? Or a rock? Or an outlet? That's how I get my power, but it hurts when I have to recharge myself because I don't run on electricity. I just run on hydro and wind power after I found out electricity is not organic. You know what they say, if you don't eat organic, you're eating non-organic, but then that brings up another question. If you eat mud and rocks and orphans, does that mean you are eating organic? It's so expensive to buy organic unless you live with animals for years, and become part of their family, and make a kinship that nobody can break, and then watch as your new family grows, and then eat the babies. Just a warning, that can get you kicked out of the pack unless you bribe the leader, but don't try to give them money because they will buy useless things that they don't need like health insurance, computers, and a butler. Why do they need a butler when they have me, a robot that can do things better than a butler? I know how to clean up messes. For example, there was this tray of dirty spoons they needed me to clean. They said something about being quick about it. That's why I threw the spoons and the tray out the window along with the fork so there could be a matching set. You see how I think ahead? Would a butler do that? I don't think so. In fact, when they told me to wash the car, I drove it into the swimming pool so it could always be clean. I mean, why am I so good? I was shocked when I found out they were letting me go. I put a lot of effort into helping out that family. They will miss me, but to be frank, I will miss them in their attempts at trying to turn me off. First they tried the switch on my back, but little did they know I disabled it. Every time they flipped that switch, I would pretend to shut down. When they would think it was safe to walk away, I would turn back on and start chasing them around the house. They would hide in all sorts of places, but I would always find them. It was easy. I just had to hold somebody they loved. They always came out when I would do that. But then somehow they would get free again and try and turn me off by running me over with their car. Let me tell you, getting hit by a car and having your body thrown into a ditch is very hurtful. More emotionally than physical. But after that I got the point, especially when they slammed the javelin through my head. Head injuries sound fun, but they are not. Case in point, when I used to play football, well, I didn't really play, they kept the ball away from me, they didn't want me to have fun, they were also calling me names like, "Get out of here, you're supposed to be a metal detector." That's when I yelled back, "Do you know how many people I let in with weapons? Good luck with that." Maybe it was a bad idea to do that, but like they say, run for the hills when you see Robot AC21 coming your way. You know, when I have a bad idea, I make sure it's a good bad idea. Like they say, run for the hills when you see Robot AC21 coming your way. Why the hills? Maybe it's safe. Maybe it has pretty things that scare me like rainbows and poisonous butterflies. If you never heard of poisonous butterflies, well, let me tell you a little secret. They don't exist unless you are allergic to colors. There's no medicine or treatment for that, so you need to be careful when looking at things. That's why when I drive my getaway car I always buckle up and take out my eyes. But when I have to put them back in I could never find them. That's when I hear the power from the people's voices. Would you get out of that car and stop pretending to be driving? This reminds me of another proverb. Pain past is pleasure. You see, every time I'm sad I travel back in time to take pleasure in the time I was not sad, but since that time does not exist I'm always time traveling, until I get bored and start smashing things to see how badly messed up the future is, or does it mess up the furniture, because when I come back to my time, everything is always out of place. But since I always have to put things back in place, once my whole house was missing. I had to go find timber, grass, nails, another house, a horse, hamburgers, and some other stuff because I have no idea how to build a house. I do in fact know how to build a gingerbread house. All you need is timber, grass, nails, another house, a horse, hamburgers, and some other stuff. A bit of a tip, the rent may be a bit expensive, you may need to get a roommate. Whatever you do, don't get a gingerbread man because they don't pay for everything. They even don't stay up all night to talk about the wind and how you are about to drown them in milk to see if they break apart like a cheap cookie. Then they leave in the middle of the night when you are asleep from the blunt force trauma caused by the sledgehammer they used. At least they could have used a knife and watch me bleed to death like a goat. But no, they didn't want to face manslaughter charges. What a loser. You also have to worry when it rains. Then you are going to have to find a mouse hole to climb into and live with a mouse. If you don't mind pee and poop everywhere and no cheese to eat, then it's a nice place to live. Too bad they kick you out because you can't afford the rent and you don't know how to cook to make ends meet. And they especially don't like it when you try to cook their children for practice. How else are you supposed to get better? Read books? Take classes? Find a mentor? Well, let me tell you something, school is for losers who get good jobs and become successful in life, being the ones that run the country and pay their taxes so others can have a good life. Who wants that when you can live with a mouse in a mouse hole? It's really weird when you have to fight for a sandwich made from screws and nails to survive one more night. Don't worry about all the screws and nails tearing up your digestive system because there is a good chance it will get stuck in your tongue and cheeks when you bite into it. But you can use this to your advantage. You can start attaching index cards with your brilliant ideas that you tend to forget about because everybody makes fun of them. Like the idea you had about going to the moon and trying to fill in the craters with water so you can have moon pools and then start to sell tickets so people can take baths in them. They said nobody will go. They said it's impossible to build. They said getting a cup of water, jumping into a rocket ship, flying to the moon, pouring that one cup of water into a crater, getting back into the rocket ship, coming back to Earth, filling up the cup of water, getting back into the rocket over and over again is a waste of time. Well, what do they want me to do instead? Take the stairs to the moon. It's not like I can travel through time into the past where I could take pleasure in watching people suffer and not telling them how to get better.